we seen after one game? It seems like we've seen a lot from Milan, but what's still out there?
Well, I think we've got depth, and just seeing those guys be the best version of themselves when they get in the game, playing to their strengths, doing the things that they do well. There was definitely some bright spots. Thought our focus in the first half was really good. Really pleased with first half offense and defense. And now it's our job to make sure that everybody is playing to their strengths, playing the best of their ability, locked in. So now it's, continuing to challenge everybody to be at their best and be production driven when they get in.
As far as Milan is concerned, what's he still have to show?
I mean, Milan's a terrific basketball player. Of course, when you go 6 for 7 from three, the story's going to be the shooting. And, at times in the past, that hasn't been our greatest strength. So it's great for all of us to see him make shots. But what I'd say with Milan is defensively, he's really elevated himself. On the glass, he's done a terrific job rebounding. He's a guy that can create confusion for the defense when he's really on the move, a guy that catches the ball in the paint in the low post area and can elevate and shoot over people and score. He's a very complete basketball player, and we're going to continue to challenge him to be that every time out.
I've asked you about Hassan a number of times, but is he, as an energy guy, you've got Big Rob energy, you talked about how Hassan is so improved and maybe one of the most improved in the league. Is he the same type of player? Because that's what we saw in Pittsburgh last year. You get the big steal, you get the big block, you get the electrifying dunk at times, but he's added more. How would you describe his energy, just the way he can change a game by making an athletic play?
Yeah, he's terrific. He's done that a lot. Certainly the other night, two things. One, as we defend a team that their five-man primarily shoots three-point shots and stands on the perimeter, that takes him a little bit away from the basket and where his strength lies in terms of making some of those plays. So that happened on that end. The other end, how they guarded pick and roll, with their drop coverage, they were off him. They didn't let him get underneath where he becomes a lob threat and he's on the offensive boards. Those are the areas we've seen him really be great. He's helped our offense move in terms of making some decisions with the basketball. He's been a constant lob threat, a rebounding threat. We saw his floater at the end of last year. And then on the defensive side, he's a disruptor, somebody that gets deflections, steals, doesn't allow the ball to come to his man, baseline out of bounds. He gets his hands on basketballs and then protecting the rim. So all those things are, in his repertoire and things that we've come to expect and demand from him. And I think the other night was just a game where some of those things didn't come out as much based on some of the scheme, and they'll continue to come out more, and I know they will tomorrow.
Shifting the focus to signing day, what was your kind of goal heading into the 2024 class, and what do you feel like you accomplished with the 2 kids that you've got signed?
Yeah, more than anything, it's continuing to find, guys that want to come in here and be Cyclones, that know the work ethic and what they sign up for to be here. Fortunate that 2 guards that are both bigger in size, very smart basketball players, guys that make great decisions with the ball in their hands. So for us, it's continuing to elevate our program. As much as, we want great individuals, it's guys that can bring and pour into our program and help us elevate. With both guys, they're tremendous character guys. They're workers. They're production driven, and just really feel like they're going to give us that impact right away in those areas, and excited about those guys getting here.
Jared Blunt seems to be a pretty good weapon for you on the recruiting trail, and you've got some of the recent kids he's brought in. Can you explain what you think makes him so successful in the recruiting trail?
Yeah, I think, with JR, he's a great relationship builder. He's a tireless worker. He knows how to connect with young men, and he takes a lot of pride in development, so it's very substantive, talking about improvement, development, ways we'll challenge them. As we do it as a coaching staff, we really try to integrate all of our coaches in the recruiting process as we go through it. It's important that everybody is invested in the young men in our program, and that's what we'll continue to do. And yep, we recognize that, JR's done a great job in that respect as well.
What do you look for from a non-conference schedule? I don't mean the tournament games or anything like that. I mean the bye games. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say more than anything, we're looking for year in and year out, what is the best equation to give us the best chance to go to the tournament. And so you have to start out looking at, the 18 league games, then you look at the multi-team event that you're in, and then certainly with the rivalry game that we have in the state, and then also the Big East Challenge, you start with that pool of games and say, okay, what does this look like, from a math equation, and then what are the type of games we need beyond that? And so you look at, different metrics and how those all line up and what makes sense. You study the historical of what's put teams in position to get in the tournament, what type of record performance teams are playing. And, we're really fortunate to have, our athletics director on the tournament committee. So he is someone we bounce all those things off of as well. So I don't know that, year in and year out, it certainly changes. And then even certain teams, what you may or may not be looking for, they may not have the date. It may not be, they may not want to come names that year. They may have a trip somewhere else. So it's really just adapting and trying to find teams that fit into, a certain metric from a number standpoint to give us the best chance we can have.
More metrics than helping prepare your team?
Yeah, there's certainly some of both, right? Because I think there's teams that historically play all zone defense. There's teams that historically, shoot faster. There's all those things that go into it. So I do think there's a blend there of wanting to play against certain things that are preparing you for the season. But I'd say that it starts out with, the math part of it, and then trying to identify, okay, now that we're playing these teams, what does this team bring that can be something different to help us prepare for our season?
In a similar vein, maybe to what Randy was asking, we know, of course, bedrock principle for you guys is defending from the whistle to the final horn, night in, night out. But given the versatility of this group, the skilled shooters and all that, what's one thing or a handful of things you want to see added to that identity as you come out of the non-conference eventually and get into that college?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's certainly an intent to get the ball in the paint more. We feel like we have more guys that can get in there off the dribble or, posting a smaller guy or those sort of things. And by getting in there, we believe that's going to create more wide open three-point opportunities or a chance for us to get to the foul line. So as you look at improving things offensively, great offenses, it comes down to don't turn the ball over, get to the foul line and make them, get rhythm threes, be on the offensive glass and clean those up. So there's all these things that factor in, and you're trying to be mindful of how that all goes, yet you can't play the numbers game in a game. You have to develop a way that you play that fits that. So certainly defensively, we want to be stingy, relentless, break people's spirit, get them to play one-on-one. And now I'd say offensively, we're more mindful and intentional of getting the basketball in the paint and making sure we're getting to the foul line more. The other night we were able to, attempt more free throws or make more than our opponent attempted. That's a really great trait if you can continue to do that. That wasn't always the case last year because of the fouls, and then on the other end we just didn't get there enough. So mindful of all of them. I think, still trying to see with this team really where we can be in those areas and where we can hang our hat on. But you're going to hear us talk a lot about, get the ball in the paint, keep the ball out of the paint, win the rebounding battle. Those are where we're focused on this season.
How can Noyes and Dwayne help improve some of the weaknesses of your program as you continue to build into a top-tier Big 12 team?
What are the weaknesses of our program?
In the last couple of years, offensively, you've had an OER outside the top 100 as an example.
Mm-hmm. I would say this, Noyes is a really good playmaker, decision maker, a guy that's skilled, scores the ball easily, but just a really good, sees it a possession ahead offensively. Someone that, can play either guard position. I'd say you've even seen from him the ability moving off the basketball to make shots, make plays, been really good. With Dwayne, his ability to get the ball downhill, drive to the paint, whether it's off a pick and roll, in transition, he's really tough to guard one-on-one in space. So he gets into the paint, and then he sprays the ball, makes plays for himself and his teammates. With taller guards like both of them are, it gives you the ability to play over the top of the defense. So when smaller guards are defending you, there's certain plays they can make, skip passes on the backside and things that can expose other teams' defenses. And then I just think with both guys' ability to knock down a shot and drive the ball to the rim creates stress for the defense.